Man, what up, y'all? Mr. Phil Strickland, and this is the MPSC Entertainment News Brief. So I was considering diving into my ancestry with 23andMe to uncover the origins of my charm and wit. Holla, but with their recent bankruptcy and customers scrambling to delete their genetic data, I started rethinking that plan. I mean, I'd love to know if my great-great-grandfather was a pirate or a poet, but I prefer that information not end up in some kind of corporate yard sale. I ain't playing that. Now, Ancestry.com is offering their DNA test kit for like $39. Tempting, but then I thought, what if I discover I'm related to someone notorious? Imagine finding out you're a distant cousin of, say, a reality TV star known for bad dance moves. Yep, I might be. That said, diving into your family's history can be incredibly rewarding. It can strengthen family bonds, provide a sense of identity, and even offer insights into your health. So while the journey might have its surprises, the benefits can be truly enlightening. I'm just saying. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to MPSC Entertainment on YouTube and all social media platforms. I appreciate y'all. Be good to each other. Peace. Man, what's up, y'all? Mr. Phil Strickland. This is the MPSC Entertainment News Brief. In a scene straight out of a horror comedy, a Kansas babysitter recently discovered that sometimes checking for monsters under the bed is more than just child's play. While tucking the kids in, one child insisted there was a monster lurking beneath the bed. Playing along, the babysitter peeked underneath, only to come face to face with a 27-year-old man hiding there. Oh, Lord. Turns out this wasn't a case of an overactive imagination. The man had previously lived in the home, but was under a protection order to stay away. After a brief scuffle that unfortunately involved one of the children, the uninvited guest fled the scene. Authorities apprehended him the next day, and he's now facing multiple charges, including aggravated burglary and child endangerment. No. Now, I've heard of monsters under the bed, but this takes it to a whole new level. It's like a bad sequel to Monsters, Inc. Monsters, Inc., maybe? I don't know, I'm just saying. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to MPSC Entertainment on YouTube and all social media platforms. And keep that gat handy. Bonk, bonk. I ain't playing. Don't mess with my kids. I don't like monsters. Talk to y'all later. Peace. Man, good evening, folks. I'm Mr. Phil Strickland, and welcome to the MPSC Entertainment News Brief. Let's dive into today's headlines with a sprinkle of humor and a dash of irony. In a plot twist that even Hollywood couldn't script. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has weighed in on the recent Signal app mishap involving the Trump administration. For those who missed it, top officials accidentally added a journalist to a group chat discussing sensitive military operations. Yes, you heard that right, a journalist. Ms. Clinton described the internet as both dangerous and stupid, all caps, highlighting concerns over national security and administration's approach to sensitive information. Now, isn't it rich? The same folks who chanted "lock her up" over emails are now texting war plans like it's a family group chat. It's almost as if handling classified information is complicated. Before we wrap up, a heartfelt thank you for tuning in to the MPSC Entertainment News Brief. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to MPSC Entertainment on YouTube and all our social media platforms. We're everywhere, just like those pesky political scandals. Once again, I'm Mr. Phil Strickland reminding you, in the world of politics, truth is stranger than fiction. And sometimes it's downright comedic. Talk to you later. Peace. Good morning, I'm Phil Strickland, and this is your 1-minute comedy news briefing. Let's see if we can get it all in today, all right? In tech news, the dumb phone is making a comeback. Yeah, those classic devices that do little more than make calls and send texts are becoming all the rage, especially among younger generations. Apparently, being unreachable is the new black. One enthusiast noted, getting a dumb phone and posting from a laptop does not extricate you from the logic of social media. That's end quote. Translation, swapping your smartphone for a dumb phone might not be the digital detox you were hoping for, huh? I mean, just keep it in mind. Meanwhile, some are discovering that ditching smartphones leads to unexpected benefits. One individual reported that after switching to an old Nokia, they found themselves walking, reading, and even playing the piano more often. Who knew that giving up Candy Crush could lead to actual hobbies? Question mark, I just don't know. And for those worried about missing out on essential apps, fear not. You can always carry a film camera for photos, an MP3 player for music, and maybe a homing picture for urgent messages. After all, who needs convenience when you can have nostalgia, huh? That's your comedy news briefing for today. I'm Mr. Phil Strickland, reminding you that sometimes less really is more. Except when it comes to battery life. Oh, you got to keep that in mind. Talk to y'all later. Peace. Follow us on YouTube, MPSC Entertainment. We're here to make you laugh. It's the magic, man. It's the magic that makes it happen. Talk to you later. Peace. Man, what up, y'all? Good morning. I'm Mr. Phil Strickland, and this is your 1-minute comedy news briefing. In a plot twist that even Hollywood couldn't script, because truth is stranger than fiction, top Trump administration officials, including Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, accidentally added the Atlantic's editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, to a Signal group chat discussing sensitive military operations in Yemen. It's being dubbed Signalgate because apparently every scandal needs a catchy name. Critics are up in arms questioning the use of a commercial app for such delicate matters. What? One former defense official remarked that the U.S. has superior secure communications such as Twitter and such like that. Oh, did I say that out loud? Meanwhile, the White House assures us that no classified information was shared. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt emphasized the importance of not releasing the chat despite maintaining that the information wasn't classified. What? That's your comedy news briefing for today. I'm Mr. Phil Strickland, reminding you that when it comes to national security, maybe don't reply all. That's all I got to say. Peace, y'all. Man, good morning, y'all. I'm Mr. Phil Strickland, and this is your 1-minute health and wellness news briefing, because dang nabbit. Y'all know I love taking Amtrak. Yeah, there are the smells and the crying babies, but overall, it's not too bad, or at least it wasn't until now. Turns out a passenger with measles took a little joyride on Amtrak's Northeast Regional 175 from New York to D.C. last week. So now, on top of the usual aroma and random baby breakdowns, we got to worry about catching infectious diseases? Lord, baby, Jesus, help me. I mean, that's according to CBS News. Health officials say measles spreads through the air. So if you were on that train or at Union Station around March 19th, you might want to keep an eye out for symptoms. There are fever, runny nose, watery red eyes, a rash, or in my case, eyes was messing up, but it's because I had contacts in too long, not because I was on that train. Thankfully, I haven't been on the train recently, so I think I'm safe. The good news, if you got your 2 MMR vaccine doses, you're all set. But if not, you might want to handle that. Y'all do the right thing for yourself and for the people around you. Come on, that's what love is. Before we wrap up, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to MPSC Entertainment on YouTube. Your vision, our talent. Y'all make it a blessing. Peace.
Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Mr. Phil Strickland. I'm here to make it happen and stuff. HJ Blackman League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. You know how we do it. You know how we do it. Let me see who we got in the studio with us so far right now. Let me see. Mr. G.D. Fenderson. Can you hear me, sir?
Absolutely.
All right, man. All right. It's good to have you, man. How's your week been going so far?
It's going good. It's going good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I had some angry eyebrows on today. My one of my daughters has been driving around my truck. It's a diesel truck, and it's got to have the death fluid in there, diesel exhaust fluid.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm being redundant. Either way, she kind of took it as just a suggestion from the standpoint of actually putting death fluid in there. So with that being the case, it kept ratcheting down from full speed to 65 miles an hour to 55 to the very next jump I thought it was going to be 45. No. 5 miles per hour. The third jump is 5 miles per hour is the maximum speed. And long story short, that she's like, sorry, Dad. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I just barely got it over to one of my mechanic buddies, fireman friend of mine. All firemen got second jobs. That's just how it is and stuff. Well, he works on vehicles and stuff because he don't like them talking back to him and all that stuff. I was like, can you do something, bro? I just pulled it in to your driveway, parked it where you told me to park it. He was like, I'll take a look at it. Don't even worry about it. You might not have it back till Monday. I was like, whatever, because I'm telling you, if this winds up being an expensive, I may have to put some barbecue sauce on my kid and just have her for dinner because I'm not playing no games. Can't believe you.
Well, now see that there. Okay. There is another suggestion. I'm just saying she's young, right? She has 2 kidneys. She doesn't need both of them, right? You're a man of science. You're a man of science. She has 2 kidneys.
We can make it happen, man. I'm like, listen, you give me that and we're good and stuff. And I'm gonna put this down payment on this house over here and all the headaches you're giving me. So that was kind of the worst thing of the week. Best thing, I guess I got called off of work on Monday from the fire department. They had too many folks there, so I was like, all right. They're like, hey man, you come in later in the week if you want to, or take the time off. I was like, y'all ain't trying to fire me, are you? You ain't trying to fire me, are you? Because look, I'm
You're
gonna
not
help.
trying to get me to doge, are you?
Oh yeah,
You're not trying to
don't doge
doge
me
me,
now.
are you?
Don't doge me. Don't doge me now and stuff. I know some stuff now.
Yeah,
Don't do that
yeah.
now.
The
I
new
got
saying used to be "Don't tase me, bro." Now it's like "Don't doge me, bro.
don't
Don't
doge me,
doge me,
bro.
bro."
Yeah, so they were like, no, 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 it's nothing like that. I was like, all right, all right. So I went ahead and rescheduled for another time to go in there. The wife was like, you're going back into to work? I was like, look, they need me. I got to do what I got to do and stuff. And I'm not trying to give them any reason to doze me. You know what I'm talking
Oh yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah. Oh, and just going back to your daughter for a moment.
Yeah.
Not only does she have two kidneys, she doesn't need the whole liver. I'm just saying.
Listen, come on.
That's
That
right.
thing's just getting in the way. I'm just
That's
saying
right.
there's
She doesn't.
options.
Right. She doesn't even have to have that whole liver. Now, true, she may have to like never have a drink of alcohol for the rest of her life. But getting drunk is overrated.
You know what? I hadn't even looked at it like that. I'm just saying these are just very pragmatic options. That's all I'm saying. That's what
You're
it
just
looks
being a
like.
good
So
dad. You're just a good dad. Teach your kids that they have choices and how to make good choices.
for sure, for sure,
Not
for
putting
sure.
that stuff in the diesel truck was not a good choice.
I'm telling you. I mean, don't just take it as some type of, well, maybe, I don't know. It seems like it's an emergency, but not really. Truck's still going, so everything must be good. Oh, sorry, Dad. I won't go over 65 miles an hour now. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And the funny thing is, I was working on her vehicle for the past couple of weeks and stuff while she was driving mine. Now I'm like, look, I'm not even finished with your vehicle. And if I got to pay a lot of money on this, all I got to say is two words: kidney or liver. Come on now. I mean,
That's
kidney
right.
or liver. GD Finnerton knows how to look at it.
That's right. I don't have any living kids, but I'm gonna tell you now that
I'm looking at it from all angles and stuff. Hopefully, my buddy
yeah,
will be able to get it situated and stuff. And if it is that, then it winds up being kind of a funny story. Hopefully, in the end,
yeah.
we'll see what's going on with that.
Uh,
What do you think about the current news events and stuff that are going on? How about Senator Cory Booker and what he did for 25 hours? You hear about that?
yeah. Now I have so we talked about it on Coffee with the Dog, a show that I'm on Monday through Friday on
Yes, sir.
YouTube and about 100 other platforms. It's a lot. It's out a lot of places. And one of the co-hosts said they're not doing anything. Big whoop. He did that for 25. Big whoop. And I basically said, yeah, it's performative theater, but most politics is performative theater. I mean, if you look at what Trump has done all of his political career, it's all been performative theater, going
Yeah.
down the escalator to even calling today Liberation Day, which is more like deliberation, as in he's
Yeah.
deliberately ruining our economy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but it's a call to action because the Democrats, the Senate and the House, they're in a minority. They don't have a lot of options, but the people do. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. The people forget that we have the power. We just been giving it up because we don't want to make decisions.
Mhm.
So we put a D or an R behind our name, so we don't have to think. We just vote Democrat or Republican, or we put an I behind it, and they still don't think. And I means independent, as an independent thought, independent thinking, independent acting. Most of them are just going what the old party used to do because they just left the R and the D off the name because they were disgruntled, not because they had become independent thinking. Like
Yeah.
I'm an independent, registered independent, but I'm a registered independent because I have independent thought. I have voted for both Republicans and Democrats in all parties.
Same.
I have
Same.
given money to all parties,
Same.
you know, until recently, because because let's put it this way. I try not to see parties, but right now the parties are seeing me, or at least they're overlooking me.
Yeah.
Then that's it.
Yeah. Trying to
And
disqualify and discount me. And I don't know if that's the
right,
best way to handle this thing.
and the Republicans, I do not want them to see me because if they see me, they may say, "Wait a minute, let's see if he needs that Social Security." Let's see if he needs those benefits. Let's see if he needs that health care. I'm happy that they don't see me. Ignore me. You know.
Well, I know he went over quite a few things as he sat back and was talking to the different talking points and stuff, and just basically saying the whole T-Rump administration is frank with how they're doing things. They are not doing it from the standpoint of the good of the people. And so
Right.
that was real talk. And I think that's what we needed. I think they said Governor Klobuchar, she was like, this is like an alarm clock for the American people, and that's exactly what we need right now.
Oh, you
So
mean Governor
kind of
Hochul? You mean the New York governor or the senator? Senator
wasn't the one that
Klobuchar. There's a Senator
okay,
Klobuchar from
senator.
Minnesota. Okay, yeah.
Listen, I'm trying to learn these terms as best I can and stuff, because you know what? We're responsible for knowing this. We got all this power. We're responsible for wielding it, and I'm still trying to learn just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. This is a lot of years ago, back when the minimum wage was $3.35. That's how long ago this was.
Yeah.
C-SPAN was just starting out at around this time, and they were looking for cameramen. Now, I lived in Columbia, Maryland at the time, and one of the prerequisites to work for C-SPAN was you had to be able to identify every member of the cabinet, every member of the Congress, every member of the Senate, and also dignitaries. So when they say to you, we needed a close up of Senator Klobuchar, you know who Senator Klobuchar is, and you can get that close up. And I said, okay, I have all that. Matter of fact, I was recommended for the job. I said, so how much does it pay? And it was like 10 cents above minimum wage.
What?
And then when they started out, their camera people got paid 10 cents above minimum wage. Yeah. And I had experience.
Yeah.
I had experience as a cameraman.
Different times and stuff. I see we got Notarius joining us today. How you doing, sir? What's going on, my man?
Man, I'm mad.
What is you mad at? It ain't like your daughter drove your diesel truck and didn't put diesel exhaust fluid in it like she was supposed to.
Well, no, let me ask this part. Are we at that part about the good thing, bad thing about today portion?
You guys continue. Give me just a minute.
Okay.
It'll take 10 seconds.
Knock yourself out. I'm a guest.
It'll take a few seconds. All it is that it's 78 degrees outside. I'm supposed to be on a field trip, and it got canceled. And I'm like, why? They thought it was supposed to rain out there, and it's 78 degrees out in that area and sunny. So you better believe I'm gonna be a little irate coming in the door tomorrow. Like, why was that canceled when the weather didn't affect anything?
Now, what kind of field trip was this? You're a chaperone or a guest?
I'm a school bus driver.
Oh, okay.
No, I had a sporting event with one of the high schools going out for a tennis game, and it was canceled. I'm like, okay, like why? Because the weather is great. I mean, I'm driving around now in suburban land here in Upper Arlington. Or no, this is Upper Arlington, and it's exactly what you see: white folks walking dogs, jogging. The young girls they're out now with their little body suits on, showing a little bit too extra. And there's a single bald-headed old brother who ain't gonna get none of it.
So years ago, I used to work for a company. We used to do preventive maintenance on standby power supplies, and most of them were on telephone poles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And part of my territory was like the most notoriously, everybody hated that territory. And because I had seniority, I said, well, I'll take it. I'll rule by example. It's not so bad. And once you clean it up, it's not so bad.
Right.
But sometimes we all had like a certain amount of time to complete all of these power supplies. They're like in my area, there's like maybe 450 power supplies, and I had maybe 2 weeks to visit them all, maybe 3 weeks in that case. And I would always save the college campus for last during the spring, because if I needed help, I knew all I had to do was say, look, guys, I need somebody to do the power supplies at the University of Maryland campus. They'd be like fighting, because they all want to see the young co-eds. They'd be like,
yeah.
So I knew I would have help. Yeah. I would just save that for last.
Yeah, we had that we had that same thing when I worked at Time Warner. A lot of guys wanted to do the college campuses, to be able to look up and get in with like the girls of sorority houses and things of that.
So some things never change.
Yeah,
Some things never change.
I say
Um,
that suburbia America, the houses was clean. It was all that. When I had the train, I went down in the hood, and the hood was exactly what it looked like. It was nasty. It's sad when you can see somebody ain't vacuum, ain't cleaned their house so much that you got vegetation. I didn't say, I didn't stutter. Vegetation growing out your carpet. Yeah,
Oh,
in the inside of the house. Okay.
I'll see your vegetation, and I'll raise you wet spots in the carpet. When you walk on, you can hear it squish, and it's not water. It's because nobody walked the dog ever.
Well, I'll take that one, and I'll up you the slop bucket in the basement. We had to run.
Listen, you
Okay,
guys are just
I
talking
will
about
see your
emergency
slop.
calls
I will
already.
see your slop bucket, and I will raise you the stairs going upstairs. The stairs. A dog. Can I say dog poop? I'll say dog poop.
Yeah, take out too. That's
A
fine,
dog
buddy.
poop mine.
Yeah.
A dog poop minefield where you
Oh,
just like ducking and stepping between the poop.
yes.
And
Well, I had
this
that
is all
too.
throughout the house.
Well, I'll go all chips to the middle of the table and say one word: roaches.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to go roaches, and I'm going to go all in. I'm going to call your roaches, and I'm going to raise you a 355-pound woman naked, masturbating on the bed when she knew you were coming back in there with the
We've gone too
contract,
far.
so she could sign it. Okay. She
Mm,
knew, 'cause
We've gone too
I
far.
said I'll be right back. I finished the work order. All she had to do was sign it and let me go. She couldn't wait 5 minutes before she started diddling herself. Flicking the
Oh,
bean. She couldn't wait 5 minutes to flick the bean.
come
You know,
on, come on, come on.
Well,
I'll tell
I
you
think we
what.
go, and then if you're gonna throw that card in there, I might as well play mine.
No,
'Cause I had to. She wasn't 3 bills. She was more about.
no. Okay, Notarius, you have been muted. All right, well, I just said no because y'all train is just running off the track. You are
All right,
unmuted now.
all right, let's go. Let's get
Listen,
back on subject. 'Cause we
listen,
get
all right.
y'all
for
talking crazy. Y'all talking crazy.
Natalia, we'll have to play high stakes poker some other time.
right. Then let's get on subject. Go ahead. Where did I come in at?
Oh man! Hey, well, I wanted to start off this with again, our whole objective is to talk to the younger generations that are coming up from the standpoint of us as elder men and men of our culture, and in a way that actually benefits them even after we're gone. So, with that being the objective and whatnot, one of the things that I came up with today that I was reading, it was, let me see here. It says, "Who is your favorite Black historical figure? And why do they deserve a street named after them?" Or maybe not. TD, you want to answer that one first?
Well, and this is easy, but I'm going to say it was Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali. Why not? Why you say Muhammad Ali?
Okay, when I was a young kid, I was picked on quite a bit because I had a very high IQ. And if you had a high IQ, the black kids picked on you because they think you're trying to act white, and the white kids picked on you because you weren't. So, and that was also something of a runt. I mean, I could not fight. I could not defend myself to save my soul. I didn't even have a sense of humor yet. I couldn't even insult people yet. I couldn't do the dozens. I could do like maybe a half dozen if I was lucky.
Yep.
So I was like totally defenseless. But Muhammad Ali, the whole thing, like float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, I'm beautiful and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I used to fake it till I made it. You know what I'm saying? I used to just imitate him. And so whenever I needed to be tough and stand up for myself, I just imitated, well, my Cassius Clay. That's where I went. I would personify that. And I learned to fight. I started fighting back, because that became me. That until I developed my own strength to fight back.
Yeah.
I borrowed his strength to fight, and that's why that's important to me.
Come on, I mean that I used to emulate Batman and stuff, and that's just because he wasn't Blackman, and so they didn't have that as one back in there. But either way, I'm like, man, he's not a superhero. He knows what's going on. But back to the whole thing of when it comes to streets and all that. So you would name a street after Muhammad Ali, and actually, that's respectable. I can totally understand that. What about you, Notarius? What you thinking? Notarius, he. What you think,
Yeah,
brother?
mine's breaking up.
Oh, okay.
Can you guys hear me? Because I was breaking up there for a second.
Yes, sir. We got you.
Okay. Well, when it came to I like the Muhammad Ali, but I mean, I was always the tall kid, so I always had to defend myself against older kids. I get that understanding, but I was tall, had long arms, and I could scrap it up. But the answer to your question, it's not really one person, but a group of people,
Okay. Okay.
and that's my Air Force pride, Tuskegee Airmen.
Ooh, that's good. That's
If it's
good.
not, and I simply say it up in less than 10 seconds. If it wasn't for them, Hitler would have won.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, do
I
I
like
need to
that.
go in depth? Go in depth, because if you
Go
know the
ahead.
story
Go
of the
ahead.
Tuskegee Airmen,
Give us a few
if you
minutes
remember
on
the
it.
story about the Tuskegee Airmen, if you go to the story about the Tuskegee Airmen, they changed the concept of how to fly when it came to their missions and what they did. Now, the reason why they're such a key piece in American history that seems that white faces this current administration want to erase is the
Mm-hmm.
fact that these guys did differently than what white aviators did. Now, when they got those bombing missions to go up and protect those bombers, a bomber is like an elephant flying. Okay, basically take a bus, a school bus, a truck, or an elephant and put wings on them, put them in the sky. They're big, they can't maneuver. So when you
Mm-hmm.
got a bunch of fighter jets that's all over the joint, they can pick at it and poke at it all day long. And
Mm-hmm.
so the white aviators was always glory seeking, going out to get marks and medals for their planes. Well,
Mm-hmm.
the brothers came up in there and changed the game. They didn't leave. They stood right by them. They was ride or die for real, because they knew that once they brought their fighters in, they'll throw some decoys in them to get them to chase, and then once they got them chasing those fighters, took them out of their position, then the Germans could come in there and pick our bombers alive. It was, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's like that sad scene where you got the fat kid get beat up by a bunch of little kids and he can't defend himself. That's what they basically left those bombers out to do. And the great part about the story of them is that racist America was not going to let them fly. They was not going to let them do it. And they had to go out there and, as always, prove themselves, prove themselves worthy. And it got to the point where when they did one bombing run, they never lost. They never lost a fighter. So any bomber they escorted, they were bomber escort. So every bomber escort they took out, those bombers came home. And it got to the point where they never lost a bomber. So them white boys was like, oh, I did my research. They ain't never lost somebody. So I want to go home. We taking those color pilots up there. And they
Wow.
never lost a bomber. They to beat Germany. Of course, we knew about D-Day and storming the beaches there. That was one take. But people don't also forget that we had to take our bombers into Berlin, and Berlin was the Mecca, or for folks who may not understand what that means, it was the Death Star. You had to go into, you had to take it out, and once you took out Berlin, the Third Reich fell. So the Tuskegee Airmen gets mine all day long. And plus, like Muhammad Ali got streets named after him. Tuskegee Airmen barely got recognized. It took them about 60 years before they finally recognized what they did And me as a black man was highly pissed or crazy off because of how when that movie Red Tails hit the theaters, how I heard more black folks want to go get it on bootleg than to go into the theater to check out that history. Whereas you go to a theater, and I went to mall, I've seen it so many times here, and I see more white faces up in there than I've seen us. And that annoys me right there because that's our history. And now they trying to erase it.
Yeah.
So the
No,
Tuskegee
I-
Airmen,
It's good stuff. That's
That's-
good.
that's a good choice. And I'll see your red tails, and I will raise you. No, I'm just teasing. no, but no, it's all seriousness. No, I do have. If I make it to Columbus, I have something you might be interested in seeing, or you may not even care. But I have 2 Tuskegee Airmen GI Joes signed by surviving Tuskegee Airmen.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, that's something I would like to have, but I mean, I can tell
Well,
you
you
this.
can't have it. You can see it. You can't have
Okay.
it.
No, I mean, I
it.
would like to see it, yeah, but I can tell you this. I've met those fighters back in the 90s.
Yeah.
When they were all, when a lot of them were still alive. I met those guys. Even what was his name? Davis, the brother that was the first 4 or 5-star general.
Right.
Met that brother too.
I met a number of them in 2005, I think it was 2005 when I met them.
I met him when I was still serving, and I sat down, and I mean, I just asked one question: what was it like? And man, listen, I could have wrote that movie back then.
Now, when I met them, when I met with my wife and I, my wife and I went to see them in South Carolina at an air show. And I lived at the time I lived in Baltimore, Maryland. So we drove down to South Carolina, and when I pulled out the GI Joes, they were like kids. First of all, none of them even knew that they were Tuskegee Airmen GI Joes.
Right?
They're like, and then the next thing they did after they got all excited was to pick apart the artwork. This is not exactly how that tail looked. And then they started yelling at each other. Check this out. Look what they did to the red tail. And the thing is, now what I didn't know was that this is what I learned from them. There were multiple red tail squadrons. And so each red tail had a different red tail, or so like each little squadron had its own insignia, but they were all red tails. But one might have like all of the wing, all of the aileron, painted, and some might have half or different. So and so they're like little kids. They were just like little kids.
Wow, that's saying something. I took a minute to actually try to pull up some of those. Let me see if I can show it. Let me see here. Here we go. How about this? Is that what we're kind of looking at?
Yeah. Only mine's still in the box. I never took mine out the box. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, they got quite a few on there. I think this one is I might have messed it up. Forgive me. Either way, you guys get the point. There was some nice ones there. Shoot, I didn't realize we had stuff like that.
Yeah, I got one bomber pilot and one fighter pilot.
Nice.
But they're still in the box. They didn't signed.
Oh, that's mint. That's what they call mint condition and all that sort of
It's
thing.
only mint. Yeah, it is mint condition, but it's only worth something if somebody wants to pay for it, and nobody's going. And it's not for sale until unless it's kidney first, then part of the liver, then the Tuskegee Airmen.
Okay, yeah. No, that makes good sense. Notarius GD was helping me understand how I could help maybe pay for any truck damage using the kids' kidneys or livers and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not above that. I'm very
just
practical.
part of the liver. You can't get rid of the whole liver.
Get rid of the whole liver. Some of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can give up my liver.
I ain't
not the whole
talking about, I'm
thing.
talking about the kids. I'm talking about one of the kids. That's all. That's how that is. Hey, if I had to name a street and stuff, I would probably put it after the Black Panther party and stuff. Not to be confused with the Black Panther movie and stuff.
Right.
But with that being a part of our history and what it is that we're doing and we're a part of, I'm like, that kind of makes sense to me. Call me crazy, but Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale and Fred Hampton, all them, I would be like, you can have them as streets and stuff, and that way at least it's like well, what's going on? Who are those people? Why are, maybe they already have them, but I ain't seen no Angela Davis streets like that. So I think that would be a good thing for the hit.
Well, what will work good or what will work well with both of those? If you have, I lived in Columbia, Maryland, and Columbia, Maryland, they had neighborhoods, and like what neighborhood would be like? Like I said, they had Rivendell, that neighborhood of Rivendell, and
Okay.
every street. I'm sorry, the neighborhood was called Hobbit's Glen.
Okay.
Hobbit after J.R.R. Tolkien, and then
Mhm.
all of the streets were named from characters and stuff in that thing. So you could have, let's say, a Tuskegee neighborhood, and then every street would be named after pilots and stuff like that. Or you
I
could
can
have a
definitely see
Black
that.
Panther neighborhood, and then the different streets would be like Stokely, Carmichael Boulevard, or something, or Angela Davis cul-de-sac, or something like that.
Well, I tell you what, man.
So all I need
That
is some investments, guys.
yeah,
Let's start a GoFundMe. We can build this neighborhood.
that's
Mm-hmm.
funny. I was just talking about a GoFundMe earlier today and stuff, and how people are actually using that to even pay for their health and medical costs and all that
Yeah,
sort of thing stuff. And we look at this what is it, Luigi Mangione, and
right.
how folks are like, oh, he was, he's bad, and the Fed government's like, death penalty and all that sort of thing. But then we're also looking at it like, wait a minute, this joker was like Robin Hood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So that's just, I don't know. That's just what's up. I was thinking about that. But that GoFundMe, that's about how some people are having to take care of their health care now and stuff,
yeah.
getting the family stuff in there. So either way, I think we might have, I don't know who we got here. It might be our buddy LJ. We'll have to see if he pops on there and stuff. Our next
I
question.
think you have two cameras going because I have an echo.
Do I? Hold on. Let me see here. Let me see here. How about that? Boom. Is there two?
Now you're down
How
to
about
one.
now?
Yeah, and the echo's gone.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine now. Yeah.
That must have been what it was. It's bouncing around a lot here and stuff. We're trying to get it right here. We're trying to get it right, folks. We're trying to get it right. Number two, why should we care about politics if the system still treats us like we got the trial version of democracy? How about that?
It only treats us like, I'm sorry, where you going?
Well, let me see. Notarius, did you hear the question?
Yeah, I heard the question.
Okay. You want to go ahead
Um,
and answer that one? Why should we care about
oh,
politics?
you
If the
gotta
let me
care.
see.
You
Hold
gotta
on. Let me
care.
let me read. Let me read it one more time. Why should we
Yeah.
care about politics if the system still treats us like we got the trial version of democracy? Go, sir.
Well, we still gotta pay it some attention because if we look to ignore it, then they're gonna be able to do what they want to do. Now, as black men, we have to be careful with it because if we don't pay attention to it, like I said earlier with the Tuskegee Airmen, they're looking to erase that stuff off the books. You know, when you talk about Jackie Robinson and how they tried to erase, um, when they tried to erase him out of the books on what they try to claim as DEI. Okay, let's stop it right there. This DEI stuff is going way too far. Going way too far. And the thing with that whole thing with Jackie Robinson, and there was another brother in there too, who was a Purple Heart or award winner, something to that effect, that they tried to erase off as well. Now, what I've been telling folks, and you got to deal with a lot of ignorant Negroes when you tell them this, is to let them know that look, that stuff they did and got caught, they did that it's on purpose. They're looking to do what they can do until they know they can do it and get away with it. See, and the reason why they're looking to do all this stuff is to erase us out the books to where it looks like we didn't do anything. And they also say, well, they don't want to be embarrassed, I guess, because of the history that show their savagery. Okay, so for years you always called us savages, but who was the true savage? And the stuff that you did, we never bombed churches, we never killed kids. We never had grown men killing kids and throwing them over bridges like they did in Mateo. We didn't destroy cities like Wall Street, Rosewood. We didn't do any of that stuff. That was them. You know, we got all these stories of such mistreatment. So yeah, we gotta stay awake. And I keep telling folks, because it's just like a lot of black folks, they just sleeping at the wheel. Because I told a friend of mine today, I told her, look, that whole woke, I don't know how y'all was taught it, but when we was coming up, I was always told by older men and women growing up, stay woke, stay woke. And what they meant was basically stay alert. Now you get this white media who controls the flow and everything out there. They making it look as if it's a group of people. There's no group, it's a term. You know, Elon Musk, he has a transgender now daughter, born a son. His name was Xavier. I think the girl's name is now Vivian. You can look this up, true story. He doesn't want nothing to do with that child. He said that his son was killed by, and I quote, woke mind virus.
Ugh.
Yeah. So when you talk about being alert, being woke, and be paying attention to politics, even though we're getting treated the way we're getting treated, we still have to let them know we're still there and we're not going anywhere. I'm one of those. I'm one of those believers in how James Brown said it. I'd rather die on my feet than to be living on my knees. So we got to get out of this begging situation and start getting back up and fighting the fight. Because if we don't, we're already picking policies and everything else over our people. And then we got every excuse to talk down that woman, on all the ignorant stuff, what I mean? And then not to mention Jasmine Crockett, who I've been listening to, and she be on point, catching a lot of those MAGA hats, with snapbacks when they be coming out there feeding misinformation. So yeah, we better stay alive in politics and stay up there, because everything that this administration is doing is not anything to do with democracy. And they're even going as far as, and I'm gonna end it here. They're going as far as taking away your birthright citizenship. Now, mind you, it's been laughed out of several courts. If it gets to a point where, and they want to do that on purpose, because it goes to the Supreme Court. And guess who has the control of the Supreme Court? Mr. Cheetos. He got the control on that. He can make that happen to where all three of us sitting here can get escorted back to a place we ain't never saw before. Never know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you better stay alert in politics and continue to snap it back and fight it back, because if not, we're gone.
No, that makes good sense. Talking about that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking to a lot of things he was saying, like the woke thing and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People keep trying to tell me, and here's the thing: I get a lot of white people always trying to tell me what we are doing. Like I just had a guy I was debating with on that same stuff and trying to explain to me why I should be enraged, like DEI. I was telling him, well, you got to understand a lot of these jobs, because of their discriminatory processes that they go through as far as their hiring processes and whatnot. They were trying to secure a lily white workforce. He was like, well, I don't believe that. And you believe in DEI so much. You got to understand, DEI didn't even help black people. It helped white women more. I said, okay, so you just contradicted yourself, because if they're not trying to secure a lily white workforce, and DEI only help white women, then why was that they only helped white women? You just don't realize how you tried to use this deflective tactic or something to enrage me, to get me mad at this DEI process, when it's not the DEI process. It's these politicians, it's these companies that are making these policies and legislation and stuff like this to try to hurt us, but not realize that they also hurt themselves, or they'll put out something to say it's benefiting us, knowing it's going to work the other way. Because guess what? White women are considered minorities as well, but that is not by happenstance. That is not by mistake. That is by design. That they are considered not minorities for two reasons. One, white men do not respect white women. Two, because white men would rather the women that they don't respect be in, because those women are still part of their family, and we, the real minorities, or black people, or whatever you want to call it, because we're not really a minority if you pay attention to America a lot. You know what I'm saying? we're no longer the minority. This is why white men are fighting so hard to stop abortions and all these other things, because their numbers are diminishing, and they are doing everything they can to put in legislation to support them. Like Roland Martin says, it's white fear. White people are afraid of losing their footing to us. Then they use these ignorant ass arguments to try to tell you how you're supposed to feel. Like I told them, bro, you know what? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let you say what you got to say, for the simple fact that I don't know who I am until you tell me who I am. So go ahead, enlighten me on who I am. And he says he's not a racist. I said, well, let me stop you though. Do you realize that is the man? You're not a racist, and I agree with you, but you still were raised with racist ideologies that cause you to do certain things, such as what you just did. The main racists are people who tell people who they are. White people been telling black people who they are, how they supposed to act, what they love, what they need, who they should vote for, what they should do. All this time, Biden said, you're not black if you don't vote for me. So you just determined my whole blackness, not my mama, not how I was born, but because I didn't vote for you, I'm the man gone with that. And so, then they attack woke like Nataria said, they attack woke like it's like some type of movement rather than a mentality.
Yeah, it's the mentality. That's what we were always told as young black men coming up. And when you talk about the white man's fear, here's one thing I be telling folks too. When you see these interracial couples, especially black men and white women or vice versa, and they having these, light-skinned babies that's basically black, that is, and I've said this so many times, that is elimination by insemination. Yeah, I said it. Elimination by insemination. The more of these, because you got to look at the tree. Okay, and I use
interrupt for a second. Jack is.
Let me finish up because I lose my thought.
Okay, go ahead.
Like take Barack Obama for instance. Okay, white mom, black dad. Okay, where's his mom at? She in the ground. He got 2 black daughters by a black woman. So that whiteness of that tree is now gone to where everything that was once that is now something different. See, you basically it's like we eliminate as more of those babies we make. I'd say that much. All right, go ahead, James.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Phil, can you try to send something or to Jack? Jack keep trying to get in, but for some strange reason he can't get in off that link.
Okay, let me see. I'll see what I can do.
But back to what you were saying, I'll send it directly to Jack. Back to what you were saying, but that's exactly the point I keep trying to make. Like one of their fears is their numbers are dwindling because when their women aren't as fertile as they used to be. There's a lot of abortion clinics, and some of the women that are fertile don't want them babies. Abortion started with white women. I get that in a minute. You know what I'm saying? My dad taught me that one and proved it to me. But and then the third part is a lot of these white women, even white men, are not dating within their own race. And I'll tell you, anything you put with a black person is gonna make a black person. A black person and a Mexican is gonna make a black Mexican. A black person and an Asian gonna make a Blasian. A black person and a white person is gonna eliminate their whole history. It's just that, and you can't mix a white person with anything and get a white person. You mix a white person with an Asian, they gonna come out with chinky eyes. You mix a white person with a Mexican, you just go get a proper talking Mexican. There's still gonna be a Mexican. You know what I'm saying? So their numbers are dwindling. Like I said about the abortions. They put those things in our neighborhoods to try to destroy us, but they don't understand. This is how abortion started back in slavery days, where the white elitists, they would have their wives, and they'd be messing around and stuff. Well, the wife would go and sleep around too, and she would get pregnant by the other person. Well, back in those days, you were supposed to be pure and all this other stuff thought of. So the woman I need to get rid of this baby. So they would go to the handmaidens who happened to have been black at that time and have them perform abortions on them with hangers, with hot hangers, things of that nature. And then it progressed. It became something different. There was a lot of health issues with it because you were using hangers and metal in their rips in their uteral walls and stuff like that. But it started with, white colonialist women going to these black handmaidens who we were the physicians back then. People don't realize that. We were the physicians, you know what I'm saying? And they would go to us and we would perform these illegal abortions, for them. That's how that stuff started. And it became something. It was something that they started, and it became something that just made it more prevalent for them. And they just didn't realize, like, whoa, why are our numbers going down? Okay, you need to realize that. Just like I always tell people, and I've always said this, the meth, is it meth, heroin, whatever? What's the drug now that they do or whatever?
Well, I mean, you got what, fentanyl?
Fentanyl.
That too. All those epidemics that they have now is nothing but karma for crack.
Yeah,
And the way they treated crackheads back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Anytime we had a drug abuse, anytime we abused drugs and stuff, it was seen as criminal acts. But now that it's them and they're dying and stuff, now we need help. It's a mental issue. It's a health issue. It's a health crisis. We need to, get EpiPens out to these people or Narcan or all this other stuff. But when they were doing it to us, we were criminalized, we were murdered and things of that. And you got to understand, we are God's people, and God is going to protect his people. He said, I would that you not touch my little ones, but one who does, he would rather have a millstone tied around his neck and cast into the sea. And that's exactly what's happening. It's that karma that's coming back because of what they're doing to God's original people.
And the karma of putting that black woman in office would have been the ultimate win for me. But one thing I say, like what you were saying, Richard Pryor said it in one of his albums, where he said that a black parent finds a joint in a black kid's pocket and it's just a problem. A white parent finds a joint in their kid's pocket and it becomes an epidemic. So at least that's the way Richard Pryor. I remember Richard Pryor saying it. So yeah.
No, that makes sense. GD, do you care to chime in on this topic, sir?
Sure. I just want to make two things. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. In terms, I think that black guy you was talking about, that was removed from the military website database was Lieutenant Major AC Gay.
Yep.
And as far as abortion goes, they were doing abortions back way before Christ. It's like 1,000 years before Common Era. It's like they were doing it. Abortion's been around for a very long time. So it's not like they invented it during slavery. I mean, but I was just saying, I didn't want people to misunderstand. It's been around for a very, very long time. Now, as far as the political system about us voting, the people who think the system is broken and it doesn't work, it is working. It's just not working for you. And it's not working for you because, like I said before, you've given up your power. If you don't vote, nobody's going to give a damn about your opinion. Okay? The only thing that trumps money is the masses. That's the only thing. And they proved that in Wisconsin with this last election. Okay? Trump won that by a very slim margin during this last election. Elon Musk put like $26 million into that election, which is ridiculous for a state supreme, any state election, but for a state Supreme Court election. So he dumped all that money in there, and conventional wisdom says when there's that much money, when you outspend somebody, you win that election usually. It's conventional wisdom. But it didn't happen that way because people got mad. People said, my democracy is not for sale. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're black or white or whatever color it is. If you get out there in mass, people will notice. If you get out there in mass, you are not just a moment, you are you are the movement. And if voting was not important, if voting was not valuable, if voting was not powerful, people in power will not spend so much money trying to suppress it.
That's good. That's good. Jack, I see you were able to join us, man. Welcome.
Finally.
Welcome. We're talking.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. We're happy to have you, brother. We're happy to have you. Our question was this: why should we care about politics if the system still treats us like we got the trial version of democracy. And that sparked the whole thing of what we were going over and stuff. It is important, but go ahead, sir. Would you like to share?
I'm really sorry I missed that because I caught the tail end of what he was saying, and I agree 100% with that. I
Yes,
think what he's saying is 100%. I mean, and the whole thing is, in my opinion, they want us to think that way. They want us to think it doesn't matter. And at this point, they're making it seem like it doesn't matter, but something's got to change because at this point, we are becoming a third world country being ruled by a dictator. And that, yeah, you caught that. Yeah. But the idea is, it's sad because people think, oh, well, he's rich, and he's not really rich. Elon Musk is rich. And I'm sorry, I don't even know what y'all are talking about. I'm coming in late, but I don't understand why nobody is still, I mean, why is everybody so effing, I don't know if I can cuss or not, cool with the fact that, huh?
I said, we're trying not to. We're trying
Okay,
not to.
then I'll try not to. The fact that Elon Musk is doing stuff in this country and he doesn't belong here. He is not an elected official. He should not even be in the White House. He shouldn't be doing anything. He needs to go back and fix those crappy cars. And that's another thing. I'm sorry, I'm venting because I hate this whole thing that's going on this election. I mean, the one thing I believe I'm very religious as well. The Bible says confusion is of the devil. Okay, didn't Donald Trump say, well, we're not worried about electric cars and this and that. We're not doing. Didn't you say that? And now, ooh, Tesla. You're the devil. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny and I'm not trying to say it, but people, hey, we're becoming a third world country ruled by a dictator, and it's got to stop. I don't even know the true answer. I mean, I know the answer is vote. I agree. But they've gotten to a point where even your votes are getting basically pushed aside like it don't matter. And I think that's what people feel like it doesn't matter. No, it does matter. But the crooks we got at the top of stuff, they're making it so it doesn't matter. And we got to find a way to get these criminals out of that White House, out of any house, and put them in a jailhouse. That's what it needs to happen.
That was good. That's good, Jack. As a matter of fact,
Jack,
go ahead, PD. I'm sorry.
You're talking about Trump and him changing, basically him changing and taking multiple positions. There's a saying in politics: there's no such thing as permanent friends or permanent enemies, only permanent interest.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, and I didn't think of that. I learned it from a guy called himself the Black Eagle, Joe Madison. He was a black commentator, and he got it from somebody else. So I'm getting it third hand, but that's it. No such thing as permanent friends or permanent enemies, only permanent interests. And Trump has his permanent interests. He wants to stay out of jail and be a dictator.
Yeah,
right.
That's a politician.
Right. But my biggest thing is this though. But as people, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Everybody on this panel right now should be able to run for office because we're born here in America. Elon Musk is not. He's not. And that Hell Hitler thing he did, that shows you what he was doing. That shows you where his mind is.
Yeah. They are really running just ripshod over everything.
Here's something else. And I know I might be going off on a tangent. I'm sorry for this, guys, but I've been wanting to be on the forum to talk about this stuff because there's so much stuff that we just bypass that it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I said the confusions of the devil, all that stuff. And this might seem like, oh, hocus pocus, Woody, whatever y'all want to people. But does anyone know about Donald Trump's grandmother?
What do you mean about her?
What was her name? Anyone?
Well, I know their family last name was Drumpf, D-R-U-M.
Well, no, not Trump.
No, Drumpf.
But before that, her name is Elizabeth Christ.
Okay.
She died on the 6th month on the 6th day in 1966.
Oh Lordy.
I'm not even making that up. Look it up. Elizabeth
Wow.
Christ Trump. That's the day she died.
Yeah.
Now, keep that out of the way. Now, look at what the word MAGA means in different languages.
Oof. All right.
In
Now
other
you got me.
languages, it means sorceress. It means just confusion and all that. But here's the big one. It is the highest rank in the Satanic Bible. And everybody's, oh, make America. It doesn't mean make America great again. It's the highest rank in the Satanic Bible. Look it up. See if I'm making it up. I promise you it's true.
Wow. Dang it. Yeah, you're right. I'm looking at some of these different names. Let me see here.
Look at what it is. Look what it means.
Yeah, this
And
is
everybody's acting like they don't know it. We got our eyes closed. Oh, we don't know this. Dude, I mean, it's almost like, what does he have to have on a red outfit and horns? What do y'all have to realize that this guy is doing? And then watch this. I've never seen evangelist. I can't even say the word evangelist. Whatever. They had a whole thing for it.
Yeah.
They had a whole thing for him. But here's the part I got, and I'll see if I'm making this up too. They came in there and had a gold statue of him. Didn't we learn in the Bible? Gold. First of all, anything
Like
this
it
guy.
looked like the goat in like in the Ten Commandments.
Yeah.
Where they had
Yes.
the idol, the false idol.
Yes. The cat. Well, it's still cow.
The
But
golden calf.
yes, and they had another golden calf. His name was Trump. The point
Yeah.
is, they made a gold statue of him, and y'all supposed to be members of preachers of God.
Well, I'm looking at it right here, and it says in Latin, maga means magic, magical, or witch. In Italian, it means sorceress or witch. In Spanish, magician, wizard, or illusionist. So, man, you ain't lying. There's definitely some different names. And that's the first
Now
time
look at what the
I've
word.
heard that.
Look what I told you. Look at what MAGA means in that Satanic Bible. Look what they say it means.
Let's see here. Let's see if I can get that pulled up here. Oh, man. I don't even like typing the word satanic. Let me see here. Satanic Bible. All right, let's see. Give it a minute. Satan. Okay. Priestess. Ooh. Mage. Is that what that is? Man. Yeah, I'm telling you what, some of that stuff, I guess some folks can look at it and be like, oh, that's just coincidence.
Ain't no more. Hey, that's too much coincidence.
That's too much
You ain't
coincidence.
gonna be able to tell those folks they are under the sorcerer's spell. You're not going to be able to tell those folks that they drink. As I always say, they drinking the bleach, and all those folks that's drinking that bleach is talking to them. I got a better chance of getting a response out of Chile. Something better than from that than I do from them folks because they drink the bleach. And anytime you say anything on that subject with what you're saying, Jack, and with Trump, then it's always an excuse. Oh, well, he's a man. He's going to make mistakes. Oh, okay. So did you have that same feel about Obama? Well, Obama was hold it. He's a man and he makes mistakes.
Yeah.
That's the conversation I had at work with that dude. And
He didn't cheat on his wife.
He kept busting him flurries. Dude, miss me with that.
He didn't cheat on his wife. He didn't cheat on a wife. He didn't rape nobody. He wasn't indicted 34 times.
Yep. Correct.
Dude, it's one thing to make a mistake, maybe two, maybe even three, but that many damn mistakes.
Come on.
That is not a mistake. This is the Antichrist, whether you want to face it or not. That's what that is.
Well, there's a thing that says was it once or twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a pattern. The man, he's not making mistakes because that's part of it's a perk. It's not imperfection. It's a perk.
He's doing it on purpose.
Him filing for bankruptcy. That's the way he did business. Other people's money. That's just it. It's
and Elon Musk did the same thing.
Oh, jeez. Tell you what, I didn't even look at it like that until y'all started talking about it like that. Let me get on to this third question. The third question here is gonna be our final one for the evening. How do we get young people to care about Black history without making it feel like a boring lecture from their uncle at the cookout? Oh
Well,
Lord.
I got one thing that I will say about that, and then I'll let y'all
Yes.
go on this. Y'all tell me what y'all think. You ever notice how young people, no matter what, if it's something that they think is that what they ain't supposed to do, they ain't supposed to do this, and this, they'll do it.
Mhm.
Maybe you should do that. Well, since y'all don't want to pay attention to it, your little dictator in charge, he wants to get rid of all y'all's Black history. Maybe y'all should read it. He wants y'all to get rid of it. Since y'all want to do everything that people don't want y'all to do, maybe y'all should do it.
Yeah. Little reverse psychology there. I could see that. I could see that
You know,
because I mean, we all
it's
were
called
young at
it's
one
called
time.
it's called reverse psychology.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Comments, GD. Do you have comment on that?
Uh,
I,
it's a multi-pronged issue because children, true, they learn by their peers and from peer pressure, but they also learn by imitating us. So, and I know this is going to sound comedic, and it is meant to. It's intended to be in comedic because I honestly believe this, but I approach it from a comedic sense. It's part of my routine, and I'm not going to do it like I do my routine. I'm not going to do it as I do it in stand-up. But I firmly believe that if we got rid of Black History Month, because I think it served its purpose because it's become too commercial. Most of the holidays that are ethnic holidays, that are successful holidays, are drinking holidays. St. Patrick's Day, Cinco de Mayo, July 4th. Those are all ethnic holidays, and they're all basically tied to alcohol. And I'm not endorsing drinking, but first of all, when you're a bigot, no matter how racist you are, no matter how homophobic you are, everybody loves their drinking buddies. So you take Juneteenth, turn it into a drinking holiday. You get out there with the people, you have drinks, and that's when the most honest discussions are taking place. When you've had one or two drinks, because that's one of the problems is we don't talk about it. There are things that we don't talk about it. Get a little alcohol, have a little drink with your Black friend from work, and then you talk about the issues. You hash it out. Get it out there. And so that's one thing. The reverse psychology, I kind of agree with, but as far as children goes, you have to indoctrinate them when they're really, really young, before they can understand. Make it part of the tape. Because before there was a Black Barbie, there was only little white Barbies. And the message the little Black girls got was, I'm not pretty, until they got, so we have to start the tapes when they're young, before they start talking, before they start developing an ego. We start then, just letting them know, and it's not just Black people, whatever you are, you're beautiful as you are. Okay, and you play those tapes over and over again. So the child, my stepdaughter, I used to call her and their friends Miss. And they were like 5 years old, 6 years old, and I would say Miss Rachel, Miss Danielle, and they'd say, why do you do that? I said, because I want you to get used to being treated with respect. When people call you outside your name, you don't answer. And I told my little girl, I said, look, when you get older, chances are you're going to either marry somebody just like me because that's or somebody the opposite of me. But I'm going to be so good to you. If you marry someone just like me, you're going to be treated like a queen. And if you marry someone who's the opposite of me, you're going to regret that in a heartbeat. And you're going to appreciate that I treated you like a queen and I raised you to be treated like a queen. And I don't mean like worshipped. I mean respected.
That's good.
I mean to teach them how to be a partner for someone else and not an obedient servant of someone else. That's it. You start. So it's a multi-pronged effort. We as adults need to learn to have the conversation. We need to teach our children to respect themselves and their ancestry, without lording it over people. We can talk about slavery being a terrible evil, and they don't have to blame their little white friends because their little white friends aren't part of it. One of the guys I work with, their grandfather was a not Grandmaster Flash,
Grand Dragon in the Ku Klux Klan.
And Poobah, whatever they
Grandfather.
call him.
Yeah, his grandfather, but we're friends because it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with him.
Ugh.
I'm sorry.
That's
Well,
No,
well,
that's good.
I
Go
got
ahead,
something
Greg.
to say. I got something to say real quick, and I'm not trying to be this. This is me not trying to be funny either. It's kind of hard being comics, and we say something that you said something, and so like I start thinking like he might have a point there. I mean, we can't do this here, but you see how you remember how you said if we get some drinks in us and all that, and all the real stuff start coming out. Imagine this conversation right now. How we had some drinks in us.
Oh, first of
Hey,
all,
I'm not
Phil's
saying
no cussing
Candace
rule.
got a good idea.
When Phil says we try not to say the F-bomb, that rule would have been gone. He would just say we try not to use it so
It's
much.
shy.
Yeah, but I'm saying just imagine it though. How true would we be if we did?
Oh, I'd have the same opinions. I would just be a little more colorful with my
Exactly. Which would make this. Maybe we should do another show like this. We call it our talk show after dark.
Hey,
after drink.
maybe we might have to do that. We'll have to see what the people have to say. But
After
Terry,
DD, after dark and after
comment
drunk.
with your mouth all full and the good old sandwich. Oh, hold on, and it looks like LJ wants to be added here. Let me see if we can get him back on. But the question is this: how do we get young people to care about Black history without making it feel like a boring lecture from their uncle at the cookout?
Like I said, this is where I put on my school bus driving hat. And I say, like what I've been saying all along about our kids, is that our kids follow our lead.
Mm-hmm.
They are, or as my saying would go, is that these kids are a product of what they see from us. That's the product of what the parents allow to walk out the door. That's why you had the high shortage of bus drivers out there because of how these kids act. And that starts with parenting. I mean, we were taught, you get a lot of the things, but a lot of things in that question is that we gotta take a step back to take the step forward, to take the steps forward. When I say it that way, we heard about our Black history through our family.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't need TV to tell us about Black history. We had our parents for that because they knew a lot of it. They told us everything that we need to know. And as far as learning Black history, we need to push it stronger in the schools.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a pure abomination that as a senior in high school, when I was becoming a senior in high school, that we had such an ugly discussion about looking to make that a part of the agenda. And I'm like, that's our history.
Well, now they're trying to get rid of all that. They trying to defund education.
But the thing is, with the getting rid of the history, here's the sad part about it. I talked to so many Black folks, it's like they don't care. It's like, well,
I do.
I'm worried about policy, and I'm worried about, and they said this, and I'm like, and I always tell them, you're feeding off of white racist media. Okay, it's white racist media. They have been putting terms out there to turn the triggers towards on it, for we can turn the triggers on each other. Like the Dems, the Dems, the Dems. When the fuck did we start saying the Dems? Okay, when did we start saying that? It was when they said it. Yeah, I know. That's the emotion coming out. Okay. But when did we start saying that? It's when they put it out there. When did we start saying woke, woke, woke? Like woke's a group. No, it's not. It's a term. Woke is a verb, not a noun. It's a verb.
If you're not woke, what are you?
You asleep.
And that's what they want us. They want us asleep.
Yep.
Well, why do you think they got marijuana legalized? They knew we would flock to it like a horse to water when it's thirsty. And they did that when they was running those commercials. Did you see anybody Black on those TV commercials? I didn't. I saw these people that lived in Powell, Upper Arlington, Dublin. They were the ones out there talking about how it's going to help the community making it legal. Yeah, yours. because it ain't gonna do that to us. That was a front. Because and as art imitates life, like Lawrence Fishburne said in Boys in the Hood, they want us to kill ourselves. They do, but they also know that by reshaping the game plan from before. As a child growing up in the 70s, you knew about a belt, you knew about a switch, you knew about discipline in the house, you knew about discipline on the block. Black kids back then was gaining ground. We was gaining big ground. So what happened? They took the discipline out of the home. What followed? Drugs. They infiltrated that. Once they was able to separate.
They took prayer out of school.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, that came later. I'm starting in 80s coming forward. And then the prayers in school. They started taking pieces out of the home. And that was designed to come in and destroy the Black community. And when I hear people, even on the radio, I don't know about you, Jack, but I can't stand here straight talk because they some buffoons to me. Because all I hear those folks talk about, they support Trump with the highest. And if you say anything against them, Barbara Clark will lose her brain on the show. And Kahari ain't too far behind. And so, but I've been saying all along, to get these kids the Black kids to understand their history, we as parents really we have to show them. We have to show them.
Here, no, you know what? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but this has been bubbling in my head the whole time. You know what? I don't know what we can do, but here's the damnest thing about this, and this might be Trump's or whoever's running the puppet to do. Get rid of that in school. Defund the education, do this and that. Because you know what? If you don't learn from your history, what happens? You're doomed to repeat it.
You're going to repeat it.
And that's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So let's act like it didn't happen. Slavery didn't happen. So basically, y'all ignore it. But guess what's going to happen after that?
You're going to repeat it.
You're going to repeat it.
Mm-hmm. And
you're damn near there right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty much there right now.
Yeah. And I mean, you got to teach, see, the reason why they want to erase it is because they don't want their upcoming offspring to see the embarrassment of the savagery that their parents and grandparents were. I mean, wouldn't you want them to see that? It's not embarrassing. It makes it look, okay, y'all did like that? Yeah, well, you're not going to do it that way. Teach these kids from our history so they won't repeat it. And you're getting to a point where if you repeat it, here's the interesting thing, is that you're going to repeat it, but this ain't the same ball game as it once was before. Because, because now we got allies. Like that guy, and I'll say it like this, like that guy that was on that social media post that I was on some time ago, got to run his mouth. And then I told him, basically got to the point where I told him, I said, look, you Facebook tough, but if I pull up, it's a different story. Or I can have, so and so and so. He said, well, you come up there, I'm carrying. I said, listen, I can make a phone call and I have somebody to see. Well, you can stream your buddies up there. I said, well, here's the twist. The people I call look like you. Yeah, an ally. And he didn't have nothing to say after that. Matter of fact, he's left me alone since then. So these folks out there, now, and what gets me with us is how we got bought out and we completely want to ignore what we shouldn't be ignoring. A lot of the stuff that they're doing is nothing but big smoke screens. It's the banana in the tailpipes. That's what they're doing. There's a lot of banana in the tailpipe. And like what me and my one dude was talking, my one buddy was talking about when they talk about how Doe just found all this waste. Well, let me ask everybody on this panel. We're all the same age group. When you went to the store to buy anything for your parents back in the day, outside of bringing back the change, what else did you have to have with you? The receipt. Exactly. So when it comes to all this waste, show me the receipts, bro. You haven't shown anything. Show me the receipts. What is it that you're finding that's so massive that you had to fire all these people and this is going to cause waste. Well, show me the receipts. Because what people ain't understanding about Musk, and like I said, yeah, like Jack said, he's not an elected official. But the reason why he's able to get it off is because he looks like them. And all the MAGA bleach drinkers are going to be okay with it because they think they're doing something good until it hits them.
Yeah, and that's South Africa. That was no different than apartheid. That was apartheid.
Right,
He's part of that mindset too.
Right, and German,
like you German. Oh, let's not forget Trump's family
is
was
German,
KKK and German.
Yeah, so you got
the one who died on 666 was German.
You realize that there's and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no black officials been appointed since his administration started. What you basically got today is the modern version of the Third Reich. But our people, the Dems, y'all making this stuff up. Oh, and I'm to the point where, you know what? I'm sorry, Phil. I'm tired of fucking with y'all because y'all don't want to listen. So then it's like, when it comes on your doorstep, don't say I didn't tell you. Because I did. But the deal, you fed into that crack hill. Oh boy, my blood pressure about to get high. But
I see your F-bomb and I'm gonna raise you. No, I'm just no.
Do it.
It drives me nuts that people have to wait until they finally see it. It's like Noah, before he built the ark, he told all these folks, God is about to destroy the earth. He spoke to me. But being that Noah was a drunk, and I'm going to say he was black, they didn't want it. They ignored him. And then it was like, but when did they realize Noah was right? When that water was neck deep and it was getting higher. Or how Bill Cosby said on it, he said, how long can you tread water? Yeah. It has to hit home for folks to realize when that stuff comes, when we gonna see it's right. And it's just like the first term. I told so many people, I said, by the time his term is over, we're gonna be looking at the same visions what we saw, what our parents saw in the 60s. And what did we see before he left out of here? Columbus nearly got burnt to the ground along with all these other cities that rioted. Come on, man. And then the people that didn't want to believe me, man, I'm like, I told you, but you didn't want to listen.
Let me say, I gotta say this. Calm down your blood pressure. Calm down. Let me say this to you. Let me show you. I learned a long time ago. I used to work at a company, and I'm gonna say it. It was Impact Community Action, right? Mm-hmm. What's up, brother? I used to work Impact Community Action, right? And I'm working with. The place was ran. It was run by a black man in top, but in the warehouse where I work, that some of the good old boys working down there, right? And they were in charge of that. But the thing is, we'd be sitting there having a conversation like this, like we're having like right here. And one time, one of the guys, just redneck without the neck being red, but just mentally there, he was saying, looked at me and said, "What the hell has Obama ever done for any of y'all?" Pause. And I was like, okay, let me ask you a question. We work for a company called Impact Community Action that weatherizes low-income houses free. And we're getting paid all this money to do something for people for free. Obama's the one that put that together. Now, let me help you out with that. You know what Obama gave these idiots? Every 3 months. You ready for this? Every 3 months, we were getting bonuses of $2,000 to $3,000 every month. And they're like, what did Obama do for me? Give him back his money, dumbass. If he didn't give you nothing, give him back his money. Because Trump ain't gave you shit. But y'all sitting like, what was he do? Dude, I got a job as a foreman for that job. And I was getting, I'll never forget when, and this really ticked me off. Then they got rid of the lady who was running it. And she was like, well, we got one more bit, and we got another big bonus coming right before Christmas. Imagine all the black people working there. Right before Christmas. There's going to be a bonus for $5,000. We was like, then they got rid of her. I'm like, But that was still the Obama plan to take care of the people who were taking care of people. And these people who were there, they just all they saw was it was a black man who did it. That's all they saw. You know, and basically, like the old joke goes, they looked at, we'll put Trump in there because orange is the new black. No, it's not. It's not at all. And the thing about it, now that Trump's about, well, I'm going to fix it. So if I want to run a third time, how old are you, Trump? You think you're going to make it to a third term? Dude, you were built like Elvis them last year's in Vegas. How are you going to make it to a third term? Stop lying. But the thing is, I heard someone say this too. That's fine. Go ahead. Get your third term. Well, that means Obama can run for third term too, right?
Yep. Good luck. And Obama's younger and more charismatic.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Michelle is not
that what he
having it.
wants to do?
Michelle is not having it. Michelle will not.
You're right. Michelle Obama already did say that.
That's
She
right.
said, "No, I put up two terms of dealing with being fake." She said, "I'm from Chicago. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this again. I'm not signing up for this again."
Whoever it is that
Well,
they
go get
endorse, I
Bill.
would do that.
What about Bill?
And you also have to understand, here's
Go
another
get
reason
Bill.
why Michelle Obama didn't do that. Because once she becomes president, she won't be able to be around her husband for however long she runs. Because two presidents can't either a standing president or an ex president, they can't be in the same vicinity of each other because people still try to take people out. And so now so they're going to be separated. So like say she was a president and he was the vice president. If you ever notice, the president and the vice
They're from the same state.
Yeah, if you ever notice, the president and the vice president can never be in the same vicinity because they'll both get taken out. So they always have to be separated. So that's another thing that she would probably not. That's another reason why she would not run for president.
I didn't realize that.
You know who I want?
That's not exactly. There's certain circumstances where they can be together. Like today,
Yeah.
Trump gave her a speech from the Rose Garden, and Vance was in the front row, and this is outside
the theory
of
behind it.
Yeah.
You can see how it makes sense and stuff.
Well,
I think that
you know what? You know who I want. You know who I want to really win. Here's who I really want to win. If you can get Kamala Harris in there, I'd like to see Kamala in there. But you know who I want her vice president to be? Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah.
I want the Jasmine Crockett run, period. Like she be the president.
Really.
She comes with a lot. She comes with a lot more. If you notice, she comes with a lot more fire, than Harris do. I like her. She is on something.
Oh my God!
I like Jasmine Crockett, but if we're going to go with the Kamala Harris scenario, then I would pick Gretchen Whitmer, from the governor from Michigan. She's dealt with those. They tried to kidnap her behind, and she's still tough. So I mean, Crockett's young. She's feisty, but she's still learning the art of politics. Gretchen Whitmer is almost a master at it. So you want somebody who's a master, and also has got some street cred as well. And she also has, and she's run the state.
Listen, if we gonna have Trump, if Trump try to run as old as his ass is, did we forget about Bill
Cosby? I'm sorry. I wasn't even thinking about that.
What he say? That's the best shit garbage tasted. Yeah, Bill still got some wits about him. Shoot. I mean, if you're gonna go with that, go with
he would have to overcome too much baggage. The Clintons, there's a lot, even though most of it's made up shit. But people, you say something long enough, and long enough, people start to believe it. It becomes their truth.
Well, that's been the whole. But what you just said, GD. What you just said, GD, is what got Trump in. They kept saying so much fake stuff out there. Right. It's like it's the lie that becomes the truth. It's like the husband who cheats on the wife and makes up a story so good, and he says it so many times without changing one word to where he actually believes it himself. And so when you got the media that does what they do, and remember, the media is a monster. That's why we promote where? To get the ratings and whatnot, to get the money in the media, because it's the monster. And the monster has to be fed. And the way they eat is off the public. And when you got that media monster out there feeding all this information, and a lot of it being false, people was actually believing that Kamala Harris was actually locking brothers up. I said, hold on. She's an attorney. I've been in court. I've never got sentenced by an attorney. I've been sentenced by a magistrate and a judge, but not an attorney. And so, and then they went into her background and all the stuff, and they was doing so much digging. They was trying to make shit up. And let's get to that Elon Musk Nazi salute. There was I saw this on Roland Martin, matter of fact, where they tried to show this picture, which was fake, where they showed Obama, Barack, Michelle, Hillary, I think Pelosi, and there was somebody else. It was a few other people in there with Nazi salutes. Now, here was the problem with that. It was a bad Photoshop job. Okay, because I forget which one it was, but like her shoulder it looked like it was detached. It was detached. I'm like, unless she got on those Rhythm Nation, Janet Jackson, Freddie Jackson shoulder pads, she's not doing no Nazi salute, because I said that's a Photoshop. In the days of AI, y'all have and MAGA folks put this out there saying that they did it too. No, we didn't. Barack Obama ain't never had no reason to raise his hands out like that. Come on now.
I'm not trying to be funny. It don't even feel natural to do that shit. It's
right. Like,
you have to really think like,
yeah,
maybe like, hey, like you just want a high five, but you ain't.
But yeah, and a high five is flat hand. Not that. That's the salute.
You got to understand, it comes natural to those who it comes natural to, and
exactly,
it comes natural to him. And I mean, he was even after that particular one, he had went to what a white nationalist convention after that, and did the same thing. Like,
he did it twice during the inauguration. Like that comedian, I think his name is Josh Johnson or John Johnson, the little young kid.
Josh Johnson.
Yeah, he talked about it in one of his sets, and it was funny as hell. He said even after he did it once, he had to reassure himself and do it twice. And then the funny part of the joke was when he talked about if you bought a Tesla like 2 years ago, he said, "Can you imagine that person in that Tesla that just saw that?" And I mean, you have to see his facial expression, how he set up the punchline. But
I saw the joke.
Yeah, but that's
funny.
That was a Nazi salute, and then you had these ignorant trailer trash folks. He said from the bottom of my heart, like y'all, that damn retarded. Because
how's your heart? How's your heart that bottom?
She did this with her left hand from the bottom of my heart. I'm like, hold it. Last time I checked, the heart's on the other side. So how you left over right? That just shows how dumb you's looking right now.
You gotta look at how you doing it. I mean, doing it like that and doing it like this is two different things.
Yeah. Well, she was doing it with her left. She was doing it with her left hand. She was doing it with her left hand. And so,
and then wait. Y'all know the guy he got in charge of the defense. He put in charge of our defense.
Access?
Yeah, you see here when he got out the pool, right? Can you pull that picture up?
Let's see here.
Whatever his name, he gets out of a pool with no shirt on. I want y'all to take good pictures. Look at this.
He's got a tattoo of was it a cross?
Swastika?
Oh no, it's not a swastika, but it's a high thing in the Nazi thing.
It's a cross. I thought.
It is a cross, but it's a group of crosses in a formation that is basically a German thing. Yeah,
it's not the German cross, is it?
Yeah. Well, wait till you see it. Pull it up, sir.
Unless it's that that one symbol. I think I know what it is.
Look,
Oh, I've seen that cross before.
Yeah.
that's a German. That's a Nazi thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what
Yeah.
that is?
Yes, it is, and that's the guy who's in charge of our defense.
And he is about as qualified as my cup here with Nick Chubb on it.
Dang.
I mean, I don't
That
even
is
know
an
why.
insult. That's an insult to Nick Chubb. You shouldn't do that.
Right.
I don't even know why we. I don't even know why we argue stupid things. People, it's like people try to throw you off so much. Like a guy was arguing with me about the DEI thing and Obama and stuff. What has Obama done for black people? I said, well, if that's the case, what has any president done for black people ever since they emancipated us? What have they done? And that wasn't even something that we really wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying we didn't want to be emancipated, but I mean, that's all I got. We didn't even know for 3 extra years. That we
You know
were even
what?
free.
You know what? You know people. When people used to say that, you know what I used to say. You know what Obama did for black people, especially black men, is everybody like, well, you know, my dad wasn't around and my dad didn't have a father. He didn't either. He became president. Now shut up. What's your problem? Get up off your ass.
And
He got up off his ass. He did this
and they
and
don't
this.
seem to understand
That's
that.
what he did for black people.
But this particular guy, he got into the argument of DEI and all that. It's like, do you realize DEI didn't even? He was like, because we got into an argument about why they're issuing certain politics and stuff like that, and he was saying that he felt that what really hurt the workforce was temp services and part-time jobs. I'm like, that's not what hurt the workforce. Legislation and policy is what hurt the workforce. Temp service jobs actually help people get jobs because jobs were using too many discriminatory practices and stuff. And he went to the DEI thing. Well, like DEI, that that helped more white women than anything. Okay, hold up. First, you just told me that you don't believe that the jobs just personally and decided to discriminate against people, but then you said that it helped white women more. Why do you feel that is? You know what I'm saying? If that's not the case, why would you bring that? And it's like he just basically killed his own argument. Like, why are you? I guess you felt that I was too stupid to catch that. Like, hey, look over here. Like I didn't see that or something. Like,
Right. But that's their game. They always try to throw it's the banana in the tailpipe. It's the coffee grounds in the cocaine, like on Beverly Hills Cop. What do you say? Because the scent throws off the dog. So that's why they got the coffee grounds out there. And with a lot of black folks out there that's always high and out their mind and not paying attention on it, they sniffing and drinking them coffee grounds. And I'm trying to tell folks, but like I said earlier, when my blood pressure went up about 20 beats, is that you're gonna, like they say, you're gonna fuck around and you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out in time. And I told folks, look, the chaos is coming. Oh, you just saying that, oh, y'all Dems. I say, listen, that Dem stuff, that's the media that put that in y'all's thoughts. And just like that white guy at work, this dude, I mean, I never verbally beat on somebody so bad to where he had multiple 8 counts in the beating that I was giving him verbally. You're gonna tell me that Obama was the worst president. Okay, hold it. Did you see what he walked into after Bush? Oh, well, you can't blame.
No. I used to tell people Obama wasn't a president. Obama was a janitor. He had to clean up all the stuff that Bush did. That's what they hired him to do, was to be a janitor, because he had to clean up after. And then the next time he maybe had a chance to do some stuff, but he had to clean up after this guy.
Mm-hmm. And then
that's what it was.
And then when you can't explain, and you cannot explain political science 101 with these folks if you try. Because even when I was telling dude, like, look, I said I know this stuff from college. Oh, you gonna be saying all that stupid stuff? Well, because I learned it in a college textbook and not some moronic moonshine of where your ass probably came from. I mean, let's make it make sense. Because, excuse me. And I explained
I was celebrating Uncle Daddy Day, and I found out that. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And And I explained it to him. I said, what you folks don't realize is that when Trump got that economy the first time, it was already in play. What you got, and the thing that gets me with the news media, and I'm gonna say it like this too. The hell with all of them, CNN, MSNBC, and all of them, because you know what they missed and that pissed me off that they didn't ever bring it up to stand behind it, is that, okay, so say, Jack, you're the incoming president. I'm on my way out. We exchange pleasantries. I hand you a dossier, a book, a suitcase, or some paper, a thick binder of paperwork. Everything in there is everything that I got going currently. Basically, I'm giving you the playbook of what I've been running. Mm-hmm. So you take that playbook and you won't go through, but your people will go through it. They're going to see, okay, yeah, this works. No, we can change that. They're going to go through and see what works and what's not. And that's what was handed to him. Because, well, that's just politics. Now, for people to believe that this man walked in and in 24 hours, everything just looks so great. Really? No. Why you want to make it look that way? Because your white man was back.
MSNBC did talk about the fact that Barack Obama gave Trump a book, a binder, and part of it was plans on how to deal with an epidemic, because Obama had to deal with Ebola. And before Obama had dealt with Ebola, we didn't have any epidemic plans. We didn't have any strategy to deal with an epidemic. So Obama gave that to Trump. Trump threw it away, never opened it, looked at it. So MSNBC did cover that. They talked about Trump just threw the book away, never opened it, never looked at it. It's like, no. So MSNBC did talk about it. At least I know of 3 or 4 of the anchors that talked about it. Now, there's a theory in politics. It's called the two Santa Claus theory. The Republicans were the Santa Claus for the rich people, and the Democrats were the Santa Claus for the poor people. So the Democrats are like giving the social programs like welfare chips, Medicaid. Those are pretty much all Democratic policies. The Republicans want trickle down economics. They want to be the Santa Claus for the rich people. Mm-hmm. In order for the Democrats to do what they want to do, they have to have money in the budget for it. When the Republicans are in charge, they break the economy, they break the government. And so in order for the Democrats to do what they want to do, which is to have social programs that work, they have to fix the government first, which means they cannot be as effective at giving the social programs. So with the two Santa Claus theories, when the Republicans are in, they're trying to break it so that the Democrats cannot do their social programs. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this real quick, but I get to go. But I'm gonna tell y'all this. Everybody Trump talking about I'm gonna be a dictator on day one. Question: I don't know how many of y'all know his history, but how many dictators do we know that ever had good endings?
So
Why would you sign up for that? Because every dictator I've heard about, it eventually catches up with you.
They caught their death in a worse way. In a lot of cases.
And they catch it, and when the people turn, they turn.
Like Hitler.
Even Gaddafi.
Let me correct that. Hitler didn't catch it.
He killed himself because he knew it was coming.
He was a coward. He ducked away in that underground bunker, and he shot himself.
Maybe he knew it was coming. Maybe Kim Jong-un's father, because he was a dictator. And I don't remember. I think he died of old age. Was it Kim Jong-il? I think he died of old age.
Very few.
Yeah, but for the most part, they're killed.
They go out in bad ways.
Most of the time, it's violent deaths.
Yeah, I remember because the people rise up. They're like, no more.
Yep, I remember the history books where they had people that was getting beheaded. I think who was it? Was it Louis the 14th? I think it was. They got his head cut off.
I think Louis the 14th.
That was Louis the 14th.
The French people had the guillotine. They didn't mess around.
Who was the dictator? Who was the dictator that they just turned him out in the streets and just let the people get him?
I don't
He was
know.
a Middle Eastern person. They just like took him down the street and just.
And let the people stone him to death.
They did. Who was that? And they had it on TV.
Nah,
Gaddafi? Was it Gaddafi?
No, I thought
I think it was.
If I'm not mistaken, I think our military forces took out Gaddafi.
I thought there was one of the dictators that was walking down the street. They just let him go down the street and get beat the hell down. I'm like,
was it Joseph Stalin?
No.
No.
Can't remember. Shoot, that's
I'll
a good
look it
question.
up, but I know it was somebody. Cause I was like, dude, I almost feel bad for him. I was like, this is bad.
Since you're on the computer, look up dictators cause of death, I guess. I don't know. The dictators endings. Because I mean,
Dictator endings.
Yeah, it would have.
Boy, that's like the title of a documentary.
Yeah, written by you.
That sounds like a new Final Destination.
Muammar Gaddafi. In
Yeah,
2011, after ruling Libya for over 40 years, Gaddafi was captured by rebel forces during the Libyan civil war. He was found hiding in the drainage pipe. He was dragged into the street, beaten, and eventually shot by the rebels.
Okay, so it was Gaddafi.
And widely circulated. Dang.
It was bad. It looked bad because they showed it on TV. I was like, oh, damn.
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, you feel bad for him. Like, I mean, I know you did some bad shit. I'm guessing all that, but no one deserved that. That was
karma has its way.
Mussolini,
But
in Italy in 1945 and got hung upside down in the public square.
Who was that?
And then Nikolai,
Mussolini.
I can't say his last name. Is Romania, executed by firing squad with his wife on Christmas Day in 1989 after a brief trial.
Wow.
That was a beautiful gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift that keeps giving.
Santa Claus didn't come to town for you that day.
There ain't nobody coming to town for you ever again.
That was more like Krampus.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. With firearms. But
all that aside, there's maybe one or two dictators who die of old age. They usually get taken out by the people.
Few. There's very few. They mostly have very ugly endings. And
the ones that live a long time are usually isolated. They're the ones that have like the food tasters and nobody can go near them.
Yeah, some of them they go in exile. And I think Napoleon went in exile, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he got put in exile.
And I'm trying to think, he got put. I'm trying to remember if he lost when he lost at Waterloo. He caught his death then. But you've had those folks who, or let me just say it like this to get back to what you had said, Jack. That it's who would want to be that when the ending ain't good. That's like walking down the block on the way home from school to walk past that yard where that dog is always loose, the one that bite. So don't go.
One day, you do know one day you're gonna keep walking past that dog gonna jump that fence.
Mm-hmm.
You might keep getting away one day, but one day you gonna go there into that fence and the gate gonna be open.
Considering what y'all talking about right now, I wonder. Did they apply for the food taster job, or was that an appointed position?
It's appointed. Nobody applies to be the food taster.
It was a gunpoint, I'm sure.
The only person who would apply to be the food taster is the one who's putting the poison in because they know which one they can taste.
Yeah, that's
there it is.
Man, listen, you gotta. I'm like that's that job. Just like, hold up, brother. That's what you going. That's what we. All right, okay.
But look at the food that's out there. I still like to meet the Blackman that discovered the eggplant. That is a purple. I'm gonna tell you an ugly piece of fruit.
Hey guys, I gotta go, but I'll talk to y'all later, guys. I'm sorry.
Right.
I gotta talk to y'all later.
Peace out.
Bye.
Peace out,
Peace out, fam.
All right. But it's oh my goodness.
You were saying about the ugly piece of fruit.
Well, it had to do with Jack because it's actually called jackfruit.
Let's
You
back
got
up.
before I can get it, so I can tell him. It looks like, I mean, if you see it in the grocery store, it looks like an alien eggshell or something. It
Yeah.
doesn't look like nothing edible, and then they're gonna find out it's actually pretty good.
And
But
one of my favorite citrus fruits is called. Okay, it used to be called an ugly fruit, and people
it's still called
wasn't buying
ugly fruit.
it. People weren't buying it because it was called an ugly fruit, but it was really, really good. It's like
Yeah,
a grapefruit and a tangerine had a baby.
yeah.
It's really good. But they changed the
Well,
name to the unique fruit. They started calling it. They changed the name to unique fruit so that people would start
Ugly
buying
Is
it.
fruit.
that
New
is that the
fruit.
name of the fruit though?
The fruit was
well,
called an ugly fruit,
Ugly fruit.
UGLI.
I
Yeah.
mean,
well,
what is
that's
the
pretty
actual
ugly right
name of the
there.
fruit? Is that what they just call it commonly,
No,
or
that
is
was the
that
name.
Well,
That was the
there's the
name. That was the
jackfruit
ugly
right
fruit.
there. That's
That's
jackfruit
jackfruit.
right there. Yeah,
Jackfruit look crazy.
it
And
looked
then we
like some
got ugly
alien
fruit, you
pie.
said? I don't know about ugly fruit. Let me see here.
Yeah, ugly fruit. It's tropical. Like I said, it's a
Ugly
citrus.
fruit's actually good. It's really
Yeah,
good.
the ugly fruit is inject and so yeah, but ugly fruit is kind of wrinkled like
Mm-hmm.
a Sharpei, and it
Mm-hmm.
peels like a tangerine, but it's really good. It's
Yep.
like I said, my favorite citrus. But they
This
changed the
is
name to unique fruit because nobody was buying it. And same thing with the Chilean sea bass. It's not there's no such fish. They changed that name because the actual name and the actual fish is so ugly. Nobody was like trying to eat. Nobody was eating it. So they just
Mm-hmm.
said no. It's Chilean sea bass. It's like we like bass. Everybody likes
yeah.
bass.
You could
That
just
is
said,
definitely no.
Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
That's
You
it.
could have just said sea bass.
that is
Sea bass.
ugly?
I mean, it's nothing but a
That is
salt water. It's just a saltwater version of a bass. Period. That's all it is. You know, it ain't
Yeah,
nothing. I mean,
nobody was eating it. Under its regular name, nobody was eating it.
people
Chilean
stupid.
sea bass. I don't know. Let's see what this thing might look like. I don't know.
The
I gotta
Chilean
see
sea
it.
bass.
I don't think they even want to show what the picture of. Oh Lord, that's an ugly fish. That's an ugly fish.
Put it up
Okay,
there since
that's
you
an
got that.
ugly fish. Let me see here. Uh, screen. Let's see. Look at that thing. Oh Lord.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
Lord.
Yeah.
That's the
I still
Chilean
wouldn't
sea
even.
bass.
I
look
wouldn't
like
give
a
a damn
big
what
old.
name you gave
Now,
it.
what's its real name? What's its real name? Because the Chilean sea bass is not. That's the name they gave it because nobody was eating it under its regular name.
Let me see here.
The Marjorie
Uh,
Taylor Green bass. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Patagonia toothfish?
Could be.
Patagonia toothfish.
Okay.
That's
what
what it is.
they called it, hag tooth.
Patagonia.
Okay,
Patagonian toothfish. That looks pretty lethal.
yeah,
I'm not eating that.
that's something I would want to be in the water with. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, I said I wouldn't eat that. I'd like to change that statement. I won't eat that without some butter on it. Huh?
I mean, I like my boys say when we out walleye fishing or whatnot is it'll still get fitted for a cornmeal jacket. Shoot, that's how that works. It still get fitted for a cornmeal jacket.
Hey,
Shoot.
Notorious, man. Let me have your final thoughts, man, so we can go ahead and sign off. You're first, brother.
My final thoughts is first off, April 19th, MPSC Entertainment,
Oh,
the Rain and Showers Laughter Show. I know that's not
that's
what I put
right.
in there, but yeah. So April 19th, doors open at 7:30. Show starts at 8. Get your tickets now for all you folks out there watching.
We're
Final
looking forward
thoughts
to
on
it.
today. As far as what we covered, we know what we're passionate on. We know what we're passionate about. I think it's sad still that as our people are so divided by the contraptions that they continue to put in our communities and into our thoughts and into our minds to keep us divided. And it's sad that we are so hemmed up and hooked on the stereotypes that still plague us, keeps us down. And then, and I hate that when things have to happen for us to finally wake up and realize what we've been trying to tell you all along is happening. Project 2025 is in full effect and people are still ignoring it. And it ain't going to be until it hit home. And when it comes to a lot of the Trump supporters who are now out there crying about, oh, it affect me. Well, we tried to tell you that and you didn't listen. But now you screwed around and now you found out. So now you're finding out what we was trying to tell you. So stand in line with everybody else and just start apologizing for putting that fool in office. I've actually had some people apologize to me in the grocery store. I'll be running into some strange people. And this old white woman coming to me, she was like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And I'm looking at this lady like, oh, for what? Did you like bump my car or something in the parking lot? She's like, I voted for him. I'm like, okay. And then we just parted ways, like, so they had to mess around and they found
How
out.
deep sometimes. How
But
deep sometimes.
but I mean, it's a thing, it's a process that for all of us who are woke, stay woke and keep your head on a swivel. And everything that we talked about as far as the kids' history, learning our Black history, we gotta get it back in this. We gotta get it into the schools, and we gotta start preaching at home. But the other thing too is that, and until it happens, it's gonna still be a problem. Is that we need to get our homes back the way they need to. And I'm not gonna just say Black homes. I'm just talking about your right homes, your mother, father, children type homes. The way it's supposed to be, especially in the Black community because it's damn near non-existent. And I mean, it's sad when I, as a driver, seen so many single moms out there on my routes in the Columbus area, but now I go over here to Dublin and I see that percentage I'm looking at that percentage that's not, if that makes sense. So it's like, okay, so you basically what I'm saying is that if it's in Columbus, if I was seeing, say, 15% of the common family type home setting, and 85% of single moms, now I come over to Dublin, I see 90% basically of dual family homes and 10% of the single family joints that's out there. And I think that number is even smaller. So, when we finally can get our homes back, get our discipline back in the homes, get our families back the way they need to, and understand to not believe everything that these media folks will throw at you, because you got to do, as it's been said, look behind the words, because behind those words is where you find the truth.
That's good. That's good. I appreciate you saying that. GD Fenderson, what you got, sir?
Okay. If you're unhappy with the way things are and you're feeling powerless, first of all, you're not powerless. Okay. Mm-hmm. Everybody can do something. Everybody can do something. Not everybody can stand up for 25 hours without taking a piss or a dump and filibuster like Cory Booker. Yeah. Okay. Not everybody can, read Marjorie Taylor Greene and Riot Act, like Congresswoman Crockett can, but everybody can do something. Okay, find out what it is you can do and do it.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Thank you, brother. Thank you. LJ, what you got for us, man? Final thoughts.
I'm glad you finally got to me because I've been holding in this part and I don't want to let it out on live.
The Terry got to write the book, but that's okay. It's all good.
Man, that dude, that man is long-winded. That dude got some strong swimmer lungs. Like, I can't. I'm gonna go ahead and admit him into one of them competitions where they, the speed swimmers and stuff. I'm gonna get him in there.
He might get Cory Booker run for his money. Maybe we need to put him in the Senate.
That's what we gonna do. The Terry congressman.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't like what I got to say, but go ahead.
My final thought. I just feel like stop listening to all the rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
We need to stop listening to all the rhetoric and start looking up things for ourselves, and not for argument based, but just for your own personal knowledge, so that when someone comes at you with certain things and to try to get you on their side or get you to agree with them or even just make you look stupid, at least you'll be well informed. You don't have to say anything to the person or anything. But when you go into certain matters, at least be well informed on your own, because a lot of the problems is we listen to people and we don't really. We go out and, like, when we vote, for instance, we wait until the last minute to find out, what issue 2 is. Now they gotta explain it to us, but how do you know that person is explaining it to you the way it needs to be explained, or for you to vote on it because they want you to vote on it? You don't know. So please learn these issues. Please understand these things before you go into those matters. That way you can be well informed. And that's one of the things that I just want to leave everybody with.
Ooh, thank you, LJ. I appreciate you. I appreciate all you
Oh,
guys
hold on,
this
hold on,
evening.
hold
I
on.
know we
One
had to
last
kick
thing.
Jack off here
Hold on.
earlier
Can
and
I say?
stuff.
Hold on. Can I
Yes,
say
sir,
one last
please.
thing?
Yes, sir.
MPSC Entertainment, Saturday, April 19th. Be there. I did not cuss on this show, and you know what? I'm gonna creatively cuss on that show. I'm gonna do it in such a way that Phil won't even shut me off. He won't even notice that I did it. So y'all, if y'all want to see me do some miraculous stuff and cuss on the show and Phil not even notice, then y'all come and tune in April 19th at the Art of Republic or live on YouTube, because we do have an on-demand function. Don't forget, be there.
Yep. Don't meet us there, beat us there, as LJ likes to say. I
You
like
go.
that.
Right.
If that does happen and I do catch it, all you're gonna see is some angry eyebrows, and then I'm gonna let Notarius be. He the 6'4" one. I just be right. Come on, now we're trying to make this right. Real quick, I realized in the analytics that some of our biggest fans right now are 65-plus-year-old women. Just telling you, that's what it's showing. People are liking us across the country.
The
Sweet
older the
Mama
berry, the
Blackman.
sweeter the juice.
Yeah. Oh, that wolf. That wolf.
Listen. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. Thank you all for watching. We'll go ahead and clip this thing up, see what funny moments we can have on there, as well as the serious ones. We're here trying to teach the up and coming youth what's going on, talking about the good, the bad, the ugly of what's happening, and just being part of the solution, not part of the problem. I love
There you
y'all.
go.
I appreciate y'all. I'll talk to you on
All
the
right.
next one. Peace out.
Yep. All right.